Hey, it's Patrick Morrissey, your West Virginia Attorney General. Big news recently at the Supreme Court front. Many people may remember that back in April, we filed a petition for cert to try to get our really big EPA climate change case heard before the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, many of you who've been following me for years know that I've been battling with the EPA for a long time. When President Obama stepped up and tried to push his unlawful Clean Power Plan down the throats of West Virginians, I stood up and said, no, that's not going to happen. We led a 27-state, 159 party up to the U.S. Supreme Court. We received a historic stay of that unlawful regulation. Then we worked with President Trump as he tried to have rational policy in terms of keeping our air clean, and we had real progress for a number of years. Unfortunately, on January 19th, the day before President Biden got sworn into office, a D.C. court ended up deciding that the Trump approach was unlawful. We very much disagreed. But one of the consequences of that decision is that that court said that the EPA had virtually unlimited authority to decarbonize our country. Clearly, that's inconsistent with the Clean Air Act, with environmental statutes, and our Constitution. So we decided to take this up to the U.S. Supreme Court. And last Friday, the U.S. Supreme Court said, we're going to hear your case. This is a really big deal because typically only 1% of the cases filed even get heard by the U.S. Supreme Court. Now we go up. We're going to be arguing our case in February before SCOTUS. We'll probably hear in June, but there's a lot at stake. Number one, the Biden climate agenda is front and center on all of these issues. Biden wants to not only eliminate coal-fired power plants, he wants to knock natural gas capacity down in half, make it really hard to mine for rare earth minerals and other type of minerals. This is a really big deal because it's going to end up putting China first and America last. We're trying to step up and prevent that from happening. So over the next few months, you're going to start to hear a lot about this really big case, West Virginia v. EPA, that's pending at the U.S. Supreme Court. Really big in terms of energy, really big in terms of jobs in West Virginia and across the country, and it matters in terms of the price of energy because we're trying to keep the price of energy down. That matters. If you try to force a shock to the system by getting rid of coal and cutting natural gas capacity in half, you're going to see huge spikes on the power grid. That doesn't work for the typical consumer. The American families deserve more. We want America's energy independence. That's what I'm going to keep pushing for. I think we have a really good shot. This is also a really big administrative law case. A lot of big issues are going to be wrestled with. I'm going to keep you updated in the weeks and months ahead on this big case. It's effectively the administrative law case of the century, and it certainly will have a huge impact on America's energy future. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me today. We're going to keep going. We're going to fight to protect our jobs and the rule of law, and I'm grateful that you're here for the help.